Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Rick and Matt with the Week 9 review, Week 10 preview podcast. After a couple weeks off, we're back at it here. You know, Matt, it's pretty tough having kids. I didn't realize this, and it's just insane. I just couldn't find the time to. Well, actually, we did do a Week 7 review, but there were some technical difficulties, and we could never get it loaded onto YouTube. So Week 7 was scratched, and then Week 8 we were just really busy. So here we are back at it. And during that time, I took a look at some of our previous podcasts on YouTube. We're over 30 views. So either
popular,
everybody in this league really likes us, or there's some people stalking our league out on YouTube. Might have to get like a Twitter handle. Couple things. League dues, you get them to me soon. We're now in Week 10. Playoffs are coming up. People are going to want to get paid, and I'm going to want to pay people before Christmas.
Yeah, I'm going to want to get paid before Christmas. So
no, I'm going to want to get paid. So everybody get your money in. And the other thing is there was a poll up for next year's dues. They will be raised to $250 based on that poll. I just chose the one in the middle based on the people who voted. So league dues for next year will be $250. Let me know by the end of the season if you're going to play next season. If not, I'll have to find some new people to play. And that's about it for
let's talk about
housekeeping.
This trade. Let's talk about this trade that went down.
Okay. Obviously, there was one person who really didn't like the trade.
Some controversy over it. But you know what? Hammer down right now. His season is on the line. So I mean, he had to do something to shake things up a little bit. And whatever, I actually don't have a problem with it. He's basically trading one player right now for three players that are starting players.
Right.
So I mean, and Cam Newton, he's not a bad quarterback. It's not like he's
a top 10 quarterback. Yeah. So he's getting a top 10 quarterback.
He's getting a decent receiver. And a back that has potential. I mean, he hasn't shown his full potential this year, but I mean, he might break out this week. You never know. So I mean, I personally have no problems with the trade.
I agree. I really that's why I really didn't weigh in through the emails. I just felt like it was even enough, and I felt like nobody was dumping players or anything like that. And
I mean, it wasn't like the trade was just between Hammer Down and Fresh Legs. Kev's been offering trades for a while now. I offered him for Breeze. We just couldn't come up with a deal. So I mean, we got a deal here. Let's see.
All right, so let's recap Week 9 here. So first game up, let's go right to Hammer Down. Hammer Down took on Optimus, which was me.
Now let me ask you a question. How does it feel to be over 500 for the first time since Week 1?
Feels pretty good.
Started from the bottom now, here.
You know what feels even better? Is that I started the season 1-0 against Kev. So I handed him his first loss. And now I just handed him his sixth loss. And possibly put the next to last nail in the coffin. I mean, it felt good.
You came back all the way this far.
Right.
I mean, Hammer Down, he can still do it.
So after losing 4 straight, I've won 4 straight, and now I sit atop the division. And it was all pretty much just between Gronk and Spiller. Finally, some of these trades I made early in the season are coming to fruition and bringing me some points.
Yeah, I mean, Kev, you actually lucked out because Sproles stays in the game and McFadden stays in the game. You probably lost. So,
right.
I mean,
yeah. And if the queen had balls, she'd be the king. But results are results right now, and I got the win. So that felt pretty good. Get out the brooms.
What if the king and queen were gay? They would both have balls, so
yeah.
Who would be the king then?
Anyway, Hammer Down gets a big performance from Chris Johnson after we wrote him off a couple weeks ago. Finally came back with a 45-point game here. So maybe down the stretch, Hammer Down
He's ranked as one of the top backs this week.
Right. So maybe he put something together with Cam, Steve Smith, Chris Johnson, and Ray Rice. The only thing that I will say about Hammer Down here is he has a lot of options on that bench. So every week it's going to be managing those options. Whereas I like to have, 8 guys that I know I'm going to play every week. Whereas now it's always plug and play. Right, exactly. Because now he has Danny Amendola. Amendola finally looks healthy and puts up 26. Lamar Miller had a great game, but yet he started Sproles and Darren McFadden.
Yeah,
so
it's the luck of the draw,
right.
I
So
guess.
it's going to need some great coaching down the stretch here for Hammer Down. Moving on.
Well, I'll tell you this: Ray Rice probably is going to be much more efficient than Darren Sproles. I mean, Sproles had that one good game, but after that, it was just like,
yeah. Anything else about this game?
moving on.
Moving on. So we got Foster with a new team name, Just Shoot Me, and it was based on pretty much this past week's performance. He took on El Canuto, and he got taken to the woodshed. He only put up 64 points, and I think you get 64 points in this league just for showing up. I think all you got to do is put a lineup in to get 64 points.
Yeah, that is horrible.
In all fairness, Foster started the game, but went out on like the first play. He was active, but then the back flared up, and he was taken out of the game. And then Rodgers gets tackled.
Even if he plays, he doesn't come anywhere.
No. And then obviously Rodgers, if anybody hasn't heard yet,
4 to 6 weeks.
Right, and Aaron Rodgers got hurt in the Monday Night Football game. I don't know if anybody else has heard that news yet. And now Jarrett Boykin with a bad game here. So basically all the Packers receivers with no Aaron Rodgers come way down the board for me. You don't feel too confident starting Jordy Nelson if you got Seneca Wallace throwing him the ball.
No.
Rather than
Absolutely
Aaron Rodgers. And then on the other side, El Canuto puts up 161.
Solid numbers.
Solid numbers. Russell Wilson. So the rest of the way, does he roll with Russell Wilson or does he go with Matthew Stafford? Stafford was on bye this week.
I'd go back to Stafford.
You got to go back to Stafford?
Absolutely. Especially with Megatron.
Okay.
A.K.A. NBE 1.
Fair enough. So El Canuto with a nice week and a pretty much of a layup win.
Yeah.
Anything else about this game?
Nah, moving on.
Moving on. Fresh legs against ABC. Now,
I was a huge Tommy fan. I was a huge Fresh Legs fan this week.
Now, the one thing that I'll ask you about this game, right? Tommy was 1-4. He's now 4-5. So he's going 3-1. He's got some momentum going now. Why would you trade Newton Smith and Ray Rice? Why make that deal when you just put up 190? And your team seems to be clicking on all cylinders here.
Yeah, but if you look here, Rick, we got Ray Rice only had 9.55 points. We had Smith only had 9.2. So that's really nothing. Then you got 26.6 from Newton. Breeze put up 55 on me 2 weeks ago.
Well, what I'm saying is, why shake up a good thing right now? Or
because he had one decent game.
Okay, all right. That's the only thing I'm saying.
Probably his highest score of the season. He got.
That's the only thing I was saying. And obviously, ABC had Manning and Vernon Davis on bye. Still put up respectable numbers. Just Alex Smith just killed him, the game manager, with 11 points. Maybe if he would have went out and got that Nick Foles, would have helped him out a little bit. But Fresh Legs gets the win, and he's right back in the playoff race here. Matt Forte with a solid game. Brandon Marshall with a solid game. ABC continues to be just a powerhouse. He just caught Fresh Legs on a really, really good week.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't score. He only had 150. That's like a pretty much a little below average score, I would say, for him.
Right.
Yeah, but I was a huge Fresh Legs fan this week.
Well, you got your wish.
Fighting for the division here, division title.
Anything else about this game?
No, moving on.
Moving on.
Oh, jeez. Oh,
Fleeners against Dos Svekas. For everybody out there, basically every Sunday night is Sunday Fun Day at my house. And everybody usually comes over. Some people from the league come over. Some don't. Hammer down. But whatever. But Dos Svekas came down with a monster lead on Sunday night. And that evaporated
this was
very
like
quickly.
The absolute worst nightmare for a fantasy football team. To go against
Andre Johnson and T.Y. Hilton on that Sunday night. He got over 110.
6 touchdowns between both of them. 6 touchdowns.
And then on top of it, the Fleeners still had Eddie Lacy and James Starks to go on Monday night just to.
And then Eddie Lacy just puts the nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
35 points.
Yeah. You just watched Dos Fecas get more disappointed throughout the night.
I actually wrote the Fleeners off before this game even started. I was like, "Oh, Dos Fecas got this. There's no way." And then and then to top it all off, then you got Aaron Rodgers hurt, which pretty much
killed Jordy Nelson.
Yeah.
But getting on Dos Fecas here, still no quarterback. He's not happy with Eli Manning. He dropped Eli Manning.
Well, he's going to go. Kaepernick's coming around now.
Right. So now he has to go back to Kaepernick.
Yeah, I would definitely go back to Kaepernick.
The Jake Locker experiment is over. The Hurt Locker is that experiment's over with 14 points.
Yeah, I think so. Kaepernick's his quarterback this week.
Okay. And the last game is your game. Yeah. Double tight end set against.
Not much to say
NDE won here.
He's double tight end set. Just had a great game all around. I mean, besides Jordan Cameron, everybody contributed well.
Now one thing I noticed was that you started Ryan Tannehill over RG3, which turned out to be actually point wise the better start here. But for a little backstory here, we all went out trick or treating together with the kids on Halloween night, and that was the night of the Dolphins-Bengals game, and myself and Hammer Down kept looking at each other like, is he really going to start Ryan Tannehill tonight? Yeah, I think he really is. He's got him in the lineup. And then, he rolled with Ryan Tannehill. The guy just doesn't throw the football that much.
No, right.
He
doesn't throw touchdown passes.
Right. So you wound up getting an extra point by not starting RG3. But double tight end set beat.
Well, Charles had his worst game of the year at 19.85. That's Charles' worst game of the year.
Right.
So I mean, it's going to happen. I had Calvin on bye. I had Frank Gore on bye. DeMarco Murray, they said he was active, and I mean, I don't know how you give him the ball 4 times. He gets 31 rushing yards on 4 carries, and then you could just completely disregard him in the second half. I don't know if they were just trying to save him a little bit.
Maybe rest him coming off the knee injury.
Yeah, maybe not give him this big a workload, but I mean, I feel like you got to go with the hot hand regardless.
Right.
4 rushes and 31 yards. That's pretty good numbers.
Yeah. And then double tight end set is just carried by Peterson, Morris, and Garcon.
Oh, yeah.
That run by Adrian Peterson into the end zone was unbelievable on that 4th and 1.
Yeah.
But double tight end set, that Tony Romo trade worked out, and they get the win, and you get the loss. Now for you, obviously with ABC losing, you really didn't lose any ground.
No,
you guys remained the same.
I wasn't even upset about it because I knew ABC was losing.
So it wasn't the biggest deal. So that's week 9. Now, if we take a look at the standings and the projected playoff race, this is what I find most interesting about our league, is that everybody's pretty much bunched up. You got the Black Crackers at the 1 at 6-3, just because I got the tiebreaker on you, which drops you to the 3 seed. I'm the 2 seed, but I could definitely fall, especially if the Fleeners win, because then we're going
1-4 to the 2 seed.
Yeah. But if the Fleeners win, they got me on points, so they're going to overtake that. So it's not like I'm banking on sticking around the 2 unless I win out. So looking at that first weekend of playoffs, it would be NBE 1 against El Canudo and taking you to the Fleeners against Dos Fecas. So, but everybody's still in it, even Hammer Down at 3-6. Couple things break his way this weekend. He's definitely going to move right up the board.
Right.
And then from here on out, it's all tiebreakers. So that leads us to week 10, Judgment Week. Huge week. So let's take a look at this upcoming week. We got ABC against Optimus Stein. We got both division leaders going at it here. 6-3 against 5-4. Based on projections, it's supposed to be a shootout. What do you like about this game?
Well, I'm definitely an Optimus Stein fan this week.
Yeah.
It looks like it's a pretty close matchup.
It's pretty close.
Everybody's saying Philip Rivers is going to have a big game.
Yeah.
Which I guess if you're a quarterback, you pretty much have to against Denver because you know that's pretty much what they do is pass the ball. And
I'm either hoping for a shootout or Denver smokes them, and that way I get a ton of junk time with Rivers.
Peyton Manning, he's starting to show that he's
a little older.
he's human now. Like
Yeah.
he's actually thrown his past 3 games. He's probably had at least one interception. Numbers aren't as good.
Yeah.
You know, look at
The
that.
past 3 games, he's had 26, 41, and 44.
I mean, yeah. That's,
Which you would actually take if you're playing against Peyton Manning
I
in
would
this
love-
league.
Like when I played
Right.
him, he had 77. So
Right.
I mean,
And then that week against Dallas, he had 62. So I'm expecting Peyton Manning to get 35 to 40 points here. So, but every time I pick against ABC, he goes out and gets high score. Well, you know what, ABC? I say, fuck it. I'm taking myself, and I'm going to win.
and you know what? I have a strong feeling. They haven't come out and said it, but I have a feeling that Spiller is going to be the featured back again this week.
And I'm loving that.
We've rushed for over 100 yards on a limited amount of carries. He looked good. That 60-yard run he had
So,
was I think they're going to go back to Spiller as the featured back, which you have in the starting lineup right now.
and I noticed ABC went out and got that Riley Cooper.
Oh,
That Riley Cooper's in the flex.
nigger guy.
So ABC, that's it. I'm picking against you. No high score for you. And I'm going to win this week. Moving on. Next game up is your game. MBE 1 against Just Shoot Me. You know, you got the walking wounded.
I'm feeling really, really confident about this game. I don't think Foster's going to play. Nick Foles is not going to have another 7-touchdown game. That's just given.
Right. Now coming into this game, you're
Calvin back.
You're 6-3. Just Shoot Me's 4-5. So it's playoff push time. It's going to come down to like Just Shoot Me needs this game, or then you're 4-6, and then you need some help down the stretch here. But they had a lot of guys on bye last week. They get Decker back. They get Cruz back. They get that stud of a kicker Prater back. So, but I'm gonna take NBE 1 here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
You feel good about
That's a
RG3
choice.
tonight? Tonight it goes down.
Yeah.
Yeah?
About 3 hours.
Yeah, you ready for that?
3 hours.
Yeah.
RG3 will take the field.
Yeah.
Domination of Just Shoot Me.
Yeah, just so everybody knows, this is live to tape. We don't edit any of this shit. So it's 3 hours away. Actually 4 hours, but whatever. Yeah, it's good enough. 3 hours. Okay. Next game up, Dos Fecas at 4-5 against Fresh Legs at 4-5. This game could be this game is basically for a playoff spot because then it's going to come down to tiebreakers.
He's got Breezy in there now.
And Dos Fecas beat Fresh Legs earlier in the season.
Why does he have McFadden? Is McFadden playing this week?
Yeah, right now he's got McFadden in there. Yeah, he's probably going to edit his lineup.
What's his status?
Well, you know why that is? Because the trade probably just went through, and they probably just threw McFadden in the Ray Rice spot. Right, exactly.
Gotcha.
Exactly. So, Dos Fecas, if you're listening, I took notice of your lineup. You still need a kicker. You might want to go out and get a kicker because the Jets are on bye. Fresh Legs is definitely the hot team right now, and Dos Fecas is definitely the cold team right now. So, looking at this game, what do you like?
I like those Fecas.
Yeah?
Yeah. Kaepernick's starting to come around. McCoy had a pretty bad game for him last week. He's going to have a better game this week. Des Bryant's going to have a good game against New Orleans because they're going to be passing a lot. Welker's going to have a good game. There's going to be a lot of passing in that game. I like the Giovanni Bernard, putting him back in there.
So, in fantasy world, there's definitely karma. Does it break well for Dos Fecas this week with going against 4 guys on Sunday night after last week's Sunday night debacle for him? He's got Drew Brees, Sproles, Jimmy Graham, and Terrence Williams all on Sunday.
Terrence Williams is a joke. He catches one pass for a touchdown every game.
Sometimes that's all you need.
But I will give Tommy this: the best pickup off the wire might have been Zach Stacy.
Yeah, Zach Stacy's
He's
a beast. Yeah, he's a beast. He runs hard. Prediction?
Dos Fecas.
Dos Fecas.
Plus 10.5.
Plus
Minus 10.5. I'm sorry.
minus 10.5?
Yeah.
I'm going to take Fresh Legs. I'm going to take Fresh Legs here.
All right. What's your line?
I think Fresh Legs wins. Big 20.
20.
Yeah.
Minus 20.
Yeah. It's just not there for McCoy right now. They've really gone away from giving McCoy a heavy amount of carries. And Colin Kaepernick goes against the Panthers this week, and the Panthers are no joke when it comes to defense. So I'm going to go with fresh legs. I'm going to ride the hot hand here.
All right, there we have
All right. Here we go. Double tight end set at 4 and 5
You know,
versus hammered down at 3 and 6.
both of these teams want this win so bad.
After after all the bitching and pissing they went back and forth with each other.
These email gangsters.
Yeah. We got videos and pictures and who's American, who's Russian, you know.
It's entertaining, though.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I don't think there's any real hard feeling between the two teams.
No, it's all in good fun.
It is fun.
It's all in good fun.
And I give both of them props for their
Their
back and
postings.
forth.
Yeah, their bulletin board material was pretty good.
But like Kev said, I'm gonna have to get the edge to double tight end set with that video. I thought that was pretty awesome.
Yeah. You tell he really put some thought into it.
It was like a whole production.
Now, double tight end sets 4 and 5. Hammer down's 3 and 6. This is hammer down season.
Oh yeah, season on the line. Right?
Season on the line, 3 and 6. You lose, you go to 3 and 7. Season's over. Now, with that, you mentioned 4 hours in advance. We're going to see the Redskins against the Vikings. It could all hinge on tonight.
I would say this is where you're going to see it. This is going to be a big sweat out game for Kev tonight.
Yeah, you got Peterson. He's going against Peterson, Morris,
the same
and
three
Garcon.
guys that killed me last week. You're going to see tonight, hammer down. So
I said if hammer down is down 55 after tonight, he should feel good. You think that's too low? Too high?
I think that's too low.
Yeah?
I would say 65. Nah, you know, I feel like each Peterson's going to have at least 20.
Right?
Morris
And Garcon.
going to have at least 20. Garcon,
He is
15. It depends. You know, these two could
Well, that's
fluctuate
55.
depending on the game. So I
Right.
mean, depending on the game, Garcon could have the better game, or Morris could have the better game. But I mean, you're still looking at least 15 from each of them.
right. So
I mean,
Who
15,
do you
50
got?
is 30 plus 20 is 50. I say,
who you got?
55. I'll go with 55.
55?
Yeah.
Okay.
If he gets 55, you're in good shape.
Okay. You got a prediction? With the season on the line. Cam against the Niners. That double tight end set's got that Tony Romo on Sunday night against that Saints defense. It's a tough game to call.
It really is. I'm going to go double tight end set.
I'm going to go double
Just
tight
by
end
the
set.
fact that by the projected numbers, they're favorite. So
I'm going to go with double tight end set. I will as well. But hopefully, for Kev's sake, we're proved wrong. And double tight end set just hopes we're dead on with our prediction.
The Hova Nova.
The Hova Nova.
No, the Nova Hova.
Nova Hova. That's fucking awesome. And the last game. El Canuto against Fleeners. Now, as much as you're invested in my game, I'm invested in this game heavily.
Oh, yeah.
Heavily. And I don't even know which side to lean towards. Obviously, I probably want El Canuto to win and me to win. And that way I'm a full game up.
Yeah.
But
What
this
other options would you have?
is right. This is a tough game. Tough game to call. The
It
projections have it pretty tight. You know, El Canuto's 4 and 5. Fleeners are 5 and 4. El Canuto's going to
He
get
does.
that 2 seed and get that bye. They need to win this week because they need the division tiebreaker here.
I see he does have Stafford back in the lineup.
He's got Stafford back in the lineup. He's got Lynch against the Falcons, who can't stop anybody. They put that Ellington in. But Fleeners have just been on fire lately.
Yeah.
I'm going to go El Canuto here. I'm going to go El Canuto. I just think the Eagles are going to stack the box against Lacey and try and stop Lacey and make Seneca Wiles beat him with their arm. Patrick Peterson's on Andre Johnson.
I think I'm going to go Fleeners.
You're going to go Fleeners?
Yeah.
All right, El Canuto, you heard that. Get all pissed off at Matt. Get all pissed off at NBE1.
Although he did take my Dolphins defense that I put in a claim for, but he just outbidded me a little bit. They're probably looking to have a good game.
Okay.
Dolphins,
Well, that's it.
who knows?
Well, that's it. Get me your money because everybody wants to get paid.
I want to get paid.
Yeah. So that's it, everybody. Good luck. Get your lineups in. Remember, Redskins, Vikings tonight. If you listen to this in the next couple hours, If not, we'll see y'all next week.
Peace.
Peace.
Da-na-na, da-na-na.